So great to see you all out this morning. The special call meeting for the Clayton County Board of Commissioners, our SPLOS meeting, is now called to order. The date is August 8th, 2025, and the time is 9:00 a.m. We will next move into our roll call. District 1, District 3,
Present.
District 2,
Here.
and District 4. Thank you. All right. Next, we will go into our, we don't have an invocation, but we will go into the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. Will you please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, at this time, I need a motion to adopt the agenda.
So move.
All right, can I get a second?
Second.
All right, is there any discussion at this time, board members? All right, are you ready for the vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it, and the motion passes. I also want to thank, as we go into, before we start public comment today, Tahija, can we get the sheet for public comment? I just want to thank our mayors for coming out. I have Mayor Fluellen from Lovejoy. You could just wave and give her a round of applause. And Mayor Dotson from Lake City. Let's give them a round of applause. Any of our other mayors here, I just want to thank the mayors too. They have been a part of this SPLOS process, and we are all working together. We're not only just dealing with SPLOS, but moving Clayton County from Tier 1 to Tier 2 with our Tier 2 task force, which we're going to probably be doing some talking on that. And everybody also, we have our GDOT Summit that's going to be coming up too. So please come out. We're going to be talking about transportation in our community and things of that nature. So thank you all. All right. Next will be public comment, and I'll get Tahija, you can go with the public comment.
Citizens will be given a 3-minute maximum time limit to speak before the Board of Commissioners. Please note that all public comments must be limited to the matters on the agenda or over matters which the governing body has jurisdiction. Speakers must maintain a courteous demeanor and refrain from personal attacks upon board members, shouting, and using obscene language. Following 30 minutes of hearing from the public, the Board of Commissioners will allow the remainder of citizens who have signed up to be heard at the next Tuesday business meeting. Citizens, please speak clearly when stating your name and residence. Thank you.
All right. Next for public comment, our first person is Orlando Gooden.
Orlando Gooden, District 3. I'm going to be brief. As far as the SPLOSH is concerned, I've heard several presentations over the last 2 months about priorities, what you want to do with it. But my question is, what input do you take into consideration from the public? This is stuff that you decide is important, but that may not be the public's priorities. So I know during public comments, you're not required to respond. But what fascinates me, you're elected with officials. So you should respond to the public's requests, needs, opinions, or desires. So when you do this vote for SPLOSH, is anybody taking into consideration what we consider a priority? I mean, funding $1 million sports complexes, it's not a priority for a Tier 1 county. I know it's not part of the SPLOSH, but I just heard some idiotic things being presented during the last 2 months on SPLOSH projects. The other thing about SPLOSH projects is you can vote on it today, but it may be a project for 2029. Hell, we may not even be here in 2021. I might be
Mr.
part of
Gooden,
Fayette
please
County.
watch your mouth, sir. Thank
I'm
you.
finished anyway.
Thank you. You have a good day. Thank you, and your comments are duly noted. Next is Mr. Mickey Garber.
Madam Chair, I respectfully yield the floor to the next legitimate speaker. Thank you.
All right. So thank you all. So at this time, this ends public comment. We don't have any more speakers. So we will move into our presentation from DCOO Landry Murkison.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioners.
What I'm going to run you through this morning is just a recap of the presentation that I gave at the last board meeting. Since this doesn't appear to be off the yes, this is the right one. Okay. Since the last presentation I gave at the board meeting, if you recall, option 1 under the SPLOST anticipated that for the fleet needs that we had identified within the county, that we would look at leveraging the Public Facilities Authority to handle that outside of the SPLOST, so we could take care of some of the other much-needed infrastructure and support functions that we need to get taken care of. It was brought to my attention that the county was not in a financial position to absorb the bond payment from the PFA at this time. So what I have done is now I'm bringing forth another option, actually 2 additional options for consideration for the board. So what I have done is I have gone back in and I've added what was $59 million in fleet needs to the county. I reduced them down to $43 million and added them back into the SPLOST projects. So what that required me to do was, after putting that $43 million back in the SPLOST, I had to go back in and then rebalance the SPLOST as best I could. So what I'm going to run you through are just the changes I made from what I presented you at the last board meeting. So the flooding infrastructure and remediation was reduced down to $750,000. The headquarters reconditioning was reduced down to $750,000. The police academy and indoor firing range was removed altogether. The $4 million for the 3 bridge projects that we talked about were removed. However, what we did do was we increased the overall bridge maintenance from $5 million to $10 million. And then transportation and development will prioritize those projects as we move through the SPLOST. We did remove the $2 million in matching grant funds. I reduced the general fleet request from $35 million down to $21 million, and reduced the fire and EMS request from 10.53 to 8.53. We removed the construction for Fire Station 13. We removed the site master plan for the government complex on Government Circle. We reduced the medical examiner's office project by $1 million, deleted the parks and rec trails at $5 million altogether. We reduced the park security cameras from $2 million to $1 million, and then reduced the field park lighting systems from 4.5 to 3.5. So at the end of all those changes, you can see total request $234,888,186 versus our approved allotment at $234,923,750 leaves a balance in the account of $35,564. I'll preface this by saying all of these changes we did as a group with those department heads that are responsible for it. So when we get into Parks and Rec, PD, Fire, and the like, these requests were okayed by the department head. Overwhelmingly, the general sentiment was when it comes to capital and some upgrades, they needed to focus on what's going to impact operations, which is fleet. Not having vehicles that they need to respond to calls and the like, and then trying to address lead time. If you recall, one of the main reasons for considering the Public Facilities Authority is the lead time on certain transportation and development equipment and fire and EMS equipment. So some of the stuff that Director Matarco and Chief Sweat needs has anywhere from a 24 to 36 month lead time to get it once you submit the order. That's just the manufacturing process right now. So looking at having to move all of this to the SPLOST, what that now anticipates is, assuming we could drop orders in 28, you're looking at 2031 before some of this equipment is here. So you're looking at roughly a 6-year time window before we actually see it. We did run some preliminary numbers on debt service at a $30 million bond through the PFA, and the rough numbers from our financial advisors, roughly about $2.4 million a year over 20 years. And they said they spread that out over the life of the equipment, correct? Yes, sir. So that was, we just had them run some rough estimates so you would know kind of what that yearly impact would be if we did decide to bond that through the PFA. So that is one option of changes. Last night, I was asked to run a third option, which would include potentially some money for future economic development and land acquisitions. I ran those numbers, and I have listed a host of other removals from the SPLOST projects to get that to balance out as well. So if that's something the board wants to consider, just want to let you know I have those numbers. If not, then we can focus on option 2, which gets the fleet needs into the SPLOST and then rebalances the project list.
All right. Board members, I'm going to start to the left of me, District 4. DeMont Davis, do you have any, Commissioner Davis, do you have any questions at this time?
What was the issue with the Public Facilities Authority? Where's that funding coming from? Where is the funding coming from to pay back these debt bonds?
So that would come from the general fund. So essentially what you would be doing is, instead of, we're trying to spread the impact out over through the PFA, what would be a 20-year term, as opposed to doing it through the SPLOST, which is a 6-year term. So when you look at the bonding payments for the $60 million level 1 project, those range anywhere between, because you're looking at paying $60 million back in 6 years with the accrued interest. We're looking at anywhere between like 9.8 million up to like 10.2 million per year in those bond payments, which of course is being paid back by the SPLOST. With the Public Facilities Authority, the thought was we have a fleet need today to start trying to close some of this gap. So to save money in the SPLOST program and be able to do more in the way of parks enhancements, flooding remediation and the such, and then some just, roof repairs and things that need to be done, we wanted to save that $60 million in the SPLOST and hopefully leverage the PFA, which is what it was created for. Right, so the whole point behind creating it was to be able to move some of these projects into an apparatus to reduce immediate impact on the general fund. So instead of having to come out and say, I need the general fund to purchase $60 million in equipment, or whatever that number is, let's just use $30 million since
Right.
I have those numbers. So if we want to use $30 million, that's not $30 million coming out of the general fund, it's 2.4 over 20 years.
Okay. Also, too, and you hit on something else, the flooding remediation. Can you, I did not see or just overlooked the amount of funding going for that, because Clayton County right now, through all districts throughout this county, is having major issues
Yes, sir.
with flooding.
So
And we've got to address that immediately.
yes, sir. So in the option that I presented at last Tuesday's board meeting, we had allocated $2 million in funding to start to remediate. I mean, we know that $2 million doesn't fix everything, but it's a start. And that would go to help support a lot of the other grant funds that we have coming into the county, both the hazard mitigation grant up by Southern Regional, which is 24.8, plus the 2.6 from Senator Ossoff coming through the EPA. So this goes to help support some of those efforts. And then, of course, we have very, very little in ORS's general operating budget for this year, but that pretty much is like some studies and some other things. It's just not enough to do any work. So by moving this fleet back into the SPLOST, so we can still prioritize other things like network infrastructure, fiber, and some other things, we've reduced that down to $750,000.
Okay. And lastly, bridges and bridge maintenance. How many bridges were initially, did we have in that?
So initially, we had the New Hope Road at Swamp Creek, we had the East Fayetteville Road at Camp Creek, and we had the King Road at Camp Creek bridges funded, and then we had $5 million in other various bridges that need some level of repair. So that's what was originally budgeted. So in talking with Director Matarco, his thought was, since we're having to make cuts, rather than just cutting a bridge project, because we can't build 80% of a bridge, so he recommended just cutting all 3 out of it, increasing the overall bridge maintenance, and then they will do assessments as to what needs to come in priority and replace what we can, as long as $10 million takes us.
Right, so no creation of new bridges, but just maintenance of existing bridges.
Replacement and maintenance of what GDOT has identified needs to be done.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Hambrick?
If I didn't know any better, I would think that Commissioner Davis was looking over here on my sheet. But to go back to the flooding, because
Yes, ma'am.
you know, we've had that for some years now up in District 2. So, and that's what I wanted to hear about the federal, which is no guarantee, because we know that this amount will not,
Exactly.
I mean, it's not even a drop in the bucket
Right.
for the needs for Clayton County. So I was glad to hear that there are other funding sources that we can use. And as far as the bridges are concerned, that was one of my questions too, because I thought the state said that it was a must for some of these bridges to be taken care of. So how are we going to, I guess, make sure that we're in compliance with the state as far as the bridges, since we're having to cut?
By state code, Georgia DOT every 2 years has to produce a bridge report. That involves their inspection staff going out and inspecting all the bridges. And they produce this report and give it to the locals, and these are your deficiencies or load rating restrictions, a whole plethora of things. Then at that point, it is our responsibility to go make the necessary repairs. I haven't seen one where they've said you need to replace it. We've had a couple where you need to close it, or significant reduction in load rating, the weight limit, until you could do a repair. The bridges we identified are, for replacement in here, are what they call functionally obsolete. They don't have shoulders, or the way they were built back in the 60s, it just is not functional for today's use. I know one in particular we pointed out, the side railing of the bridge has been damaged to the point where it needs to be repaired, but we can't get a contractor to repair it because of liability reasons, because it doesn't meet any type of today's specifications. So that one would be something that probably we'll be moving forward with, trying to do a bridge replacement or change it to a culvert or something. Mm-hmm. So as Landry said, you can't build 75% of a bridge. Right. So it's not a matter of reducing costs and thinking you're still going to be able to deliver a project. So the idea was lump it together, and we'll do what we always do, stretch the dollar as far as we can and make prudent decisions of where the safety comes first of these structures. And quite candidly and honestly, if we get into this program in year 3 and 4 and we have an issue, you know as well as I will come to you and say, this is the issue, what funding can we come up with? We do have avenues where Georgia DOT for access to some funding.
Especially if it's on a state highway.
Well, we're not talking state highway bridges. They handle theirs, but through some of the federal programs, they have a local program that funnels through the state. We will exasperate that effort. We've been doing that. Brown Road Bridge at Swamp Creek, that's how that materialized. Okay. You don't see on here Upper Riverdale Road at Flint River, because that's in that program. So we will do what we can to get them to see the light under the way we see it and include these bridges. But at this point, there's no guarantee.
Right. And this is off just a little bit, and you spoke of Upper Riverdale Road. So what are we going to do? You know, because of all that flooding, and I'm sure that bridge needs, if not replaced.
I can definitely get you more information, but the end of the day, they're going to replace the bridge, and they're raising it up. And,
okay.
They have some hydraulic issues they have to work on there. And then there's an issue about the trail coming across the bridge, and then Martyrs BRT is planned to go through there, so it's kind of a convoluted mess right now. Georgia DOT is sorting through, but yes, they have plans, and the cost to us is very nominal. We've already allocated, I think it was $100,000 to go towards right-of-way, but it's still a couple years away, and it will be an extensive project when it comes.
Okay. I do have something else, but my colleague here was asking about the weight.
Yes.
And all, as far as the bridges are concerned.
The state increased the weight of allowable, I guess, weight of what a truck can be used on Georgia highways. Are we looking at that weight in regards to maintenance of bridges?
Most of the weight restriction items that you're referring to are on state highways. They set the weight limits on our bridges, so we conform to whatever they say. There's different weight limits for different types of trucks on the technicalities of how they impact the bridge structure. But it's out there, we are aware of it, they are aware of it, and they will dictate to us real quick. If they go out there and they find something that is damaged on the substructure, and they will let us know, and we will change the signage in a day's time. So that's a number one safety matter. So yes, we are aware of it. And of course, any designs that are done today take all that in consideration for when you replace a bridge with a new structure.
Well, Chief, this is something different. Now, Chief, I know you were saying that you had to make some changes and all that, and you showing us that. So now, as far as the municipalities are concerned, are their numbers still the same?
This is just county projects, so this
Okay.
doesn't affect any
So
of
they
the
still have
project lists with the
everything that-
municipality. So this is just how the county is allotting its 234, 923, 750.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am. So their, Attorney Reed has their project list, and that's the municipality's decision. So they've handled
Okay.
their stuff. Now we're looking at just how the county will implement it.
Oh, okay. And maybe this is a question or concern down the road, but once we get this all figured out and voted on, I know in the past, there's been some kind of restriction and maybe a legal question here regarding how this will be promoted and all. Is it something that says that the county cannot promote a sponsor or whatever as far as trying to get the SPLOST passed? How does that work?
Right, you can't like send out anything saying, we want you to vote in favor of SPLOST, but you can just say, here's the vote, these are the issues that are coming up, here's the date, like you would do any other election. You just can't endorse or say, we want you to vote in favor of, the 2027 SPLOST.
So could we, I guess maybe get a committee or something, not under the name of the county, but I guess we can talk about that later and all, as far as the legalities, because the citizens need to know, these needs, and the people in the cities need to know their needs or whatever. So I'm just, at some point, we need to figure out a way to get the word out.
Well, getting the word out is not the issue as far as, you can always have public meetings and share, these are the things that are coming up on the ballot. You can share what's on the ballot. You just can't say, I want you to go vote for it.
Well, I know we can't do that, but I'm just saying, as far as like a sign or flyers or those kind of things.
Sure, like what we're doing right now, to say, here are the projects that are on, or coming up as part of the SPLOST. That can be done. These are the things that are going to be affected in your particular community. These are the things that you're looking to do. Education is always something you can do. You just can't say, we recommend that you vote in favor of this.
So basically, they can go on
Give
our
me a little bit more
newsletters,
credit,
things of
Chuck.
that.
No, I'm not saying that for I'm saying that just in general.
Chief, I did ask you a question before, how quick, okay. I see what you're saying now. When I was asking you, would this be, something that we just kind of go through or whatever, and you said, no, not on your behalf, but on our behalf, so I understand that now. Thank you.
And I do just want to make sure I clarify too, real quick, that as it stands right now, what I presented to you this morning, there is very, very little, I don't think there's any new construction in this SPLOST that we don't currently have. What's in here is major renovations and upgrades that have been needed for quite some time.
Okay, I do have another question. So when we vote, you said you got something last night. So is that included in the resolution here?
No, ma'am. So what is, and correct me if I'm wrong, what's presented to you in the resolution is what I just went through.
Okay.
Is putting the fleet back into the SPLOST, taking all of these projects that I've either reduced or removed altogether. That's what's before you to vote on.
Okay.
If there wanted to be a conversation around future land acquisition and having some monies for that, I have those numbers available. But if that's not
It's
a
not.
topic, then we can focus on this. I just wanted to make sure I was prepared to have that plan if that was a conversation.
Thank you.
But what's before you is what I just went through, correct?
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Commissioner Allen?
Yes, for your option 3, including the property,
Yes, ma'am.
does that, if that is agreed upon today, does that allow us to buy out some of the buildings on Terra Boulevard and start over? Like, can we just buy them out, knock it down, and start over instead of buying new land?
I guess that would be well, it would be for land acquisition. I'm not sure what the intent behind it was, but that would be an attorney or a case-by-case
Okay.
basis as to what are we doing with that land and stuff.
Because I
But I
think it's a
would,
great idea if we could buy out, the rundown buildings on Tar Boulevard, but if we can't, then I'm going to say no to that.
All right.
Okay, so I guess it'd just be option 2 then.
So, just in general, the county can buy any property that a person is willing to sell, and what you do with it once you buy it is up to the board.
What I'm saying with the SPLOST funds, though,
You can't use
does SPLOST funds allow us to buy out land from private property owners?
the private property owner, I don't think may be the issue. Is we can, to the Attorney Reed's point, we can buy land from whomever. In reading, my understanding of the SPLOST language is land acquisition is allowed when related to a SPLOST project.
Okay.
So I think part of the challenge may be is, if there was just 10 acres sitting over here, is buying 10 acres and just holding it for something else that may come down the road. I'm not, once again, that's getting into the legal interpretation, and I'm not a lawyer. But there's 3 or 4 questions wrapped up in that one that I think would have to be asked, which would be, what would be the intent of the land acquisition? If it has a building on it, then is that related to,
the SPLOST.
would we be buying a building and/or land for a potential police academy or something down the road, which may be, I think, something that may be included in a future SPLOST.
Okay.
But that would be kind of understanding more of the intent behind that. But as far as, let's buy 30 acres and see,
Or let's get the
court
hotel.
something for it, that would be something I think Attorney Reed would
Okay.
have to look into and say, can we do that with SPLOST funds? I don't have that answer.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, when we vote today, so we're voting on Resolution 2025-163. And is that how we doing it, with the option, or we just voting, that's with?
Well, no, ma'am, just the way the resolution is written, with all the projects, reflects what I just ran you through at those dollar amounts.
Okay, I got you.
So
With those
there's,
changes.
And with those changes?
with these changes,
Okay.
yes, ma'am. So this would be different than what I presented last Tuesday to you, which included some PFA money. But what I just ran you through with the reductions and the removals is what's before you for consideration.
All right. Well, thank you, and we will move on to the vote.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. At this time, ladies and gentlemen of the board, we're going to move to item 2, which is Resolution 2025-163A. I need a motion to approve.
You're not going to do
Oh, are you going to do it? You going to read it?
Yes. Resolution 2025-163 is a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Clayton County reimposing a special 1% sales and use tax as authorized by Part 1 of Article 3 of Chapter 8 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated, specifying the purposes for which the proceeds of such tax are to be used, specifying the period of time for which such tax shall be reimposed, specifying the estimated cost of the capital outlay projects to be funded from the proceeds of such tax, seeking approval to issue general obligation debt in conjunction with reimposition of the sales and use tax, requesting the election superintendent to call an election of the voters of Clayton County to approve the reimposition of such sales and use tax, approve approving the form of the ballot to be used in such an election and for other purposes. And I did want to state, especially for the municipalities, all of the project lists that were provided by the municipalities are included within this resolution. So including the dollar amounts, and where some of them said like 2026 is corrected to say 2027. So I just wanted to put that just on the record.
All right, at this time, I need a motion, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-163A.
I second that motion. Is there any discussion at this time? All right.
Actually, it's actually not 163A, it's just 163, and the first word is A, resolution.
You see how,
But it goes together on here now.
Right, it does, yes.
You have a typo. Okay, should I repeat that?
Yes.
Okay. The motion is to approve Resolution 2025-163.
All right, and I second that motion. Is there any discussion at this time? Are you ready for the vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it, and the motion passes. All right, Attorney Reed? Item 3.
The second item is Resolution 2025-164, which is a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Clayton County, Georgia, approving and authorizing execution by the chairwoman of the Clayton County Board of Commissioners of an intergovernmental agreement between the county and certain municipalities of Clayton County concerning a county 1% special purpose local option sales and use tax enacted pursuant to OCGA 488110, etc. To authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense. All may be required under the terms of the agreement, to repeal prior resolutions in conflict and for other purposes. And just for explanation, this IGA establishes how the proceeds will be split should the voters approve the SPLOST.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Reed. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, I need a motion to accept Resolution 2025-164, to approve.
Yes, I would like to make the motion to approve Resolution 2025-164.
All right, I second that motion. Is there any discussion at this time? Are you ready for the vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it, and the motion passes. Thank you. All right, next, Mr. Reed, do we have a need for executive session?
Yes, on personnel only.
All right. At this time, can I get a motion to go into executive session for personnel only?
So moved.
All right, I second that motion. Any discussion at this time? All right, are you ready for the vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it, and the motion passes. We will now go into executive session for personnel. Thank you. Is it afternoon yet? It's still morning. Good morning. The board is returning from executive session where we discussed personnel issues. I need a motion to return from executive session.
So moved.
All right. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right. Are you ready? Any discussion at this time? Are you ready for the question? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it, and the motion passes. At this time, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
All right, can I get a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion at this time? Are you ready for the question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it, and the motion passes. And this special call board meeting is adjourned. Thank you.